In the following video, award-winning portrait artist Frances Bell discusses every brand, paint, color, brush, surface, and medium that she uses to make her beautiful work. This video is part of a series called The Material List, where we talk with different visual artists about the materials they use to create their amazing work.
So the first thing to say is that I have split loyalties between Michael Harding, generally Michael Harding for yellows and pale colours, and don't know why, and actually a cadmium green, I notice of his, and then Old Holland. So I have a titanium white, which isn't the sort of the canonical one. It's lead white if you train classically, but I have drifted slowly over to titanium. There is a Rublev white which combines lead and titanium. It's got a sort of oily depth, but it's actually really good if, especially if you really want that highlight to sit in a sort of luxurious, slightly oily way on top of the canvas. That's a good one. Then we move to Michael Harding, Naples Yellow. Afraid it's an expensive one, but it's an absolutely vital one in my view.
Is that the genuine Naples yellow light?
Genuine Naples yellow light,
And
yes.
that can get quite pricey, right? That particular
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
It's hideous. Unfortunately for me, I do really like it and I wouldn't replace it for something. And actually, even same thing, slightly annoyingly, the Naples yellow extra from Old Holland, and I'm sure Michael Harding, but this one's from Old Holland. Similar, but quite gentle and a sort of very friendly flesh tone. And my recent experiment, which you can see in the trainers and the skirt, is members of the cadmium family, which I haven't been into in the past. So what have we got here? Cadmium yellow mid, and that's actually the other tube, but it is cadmium yellow mid, and then cadmium orange. There's a lot of that in the yellow skirt.
And those are both Michael Harding, or the yellow is Old Holland?
This one's actually Old Holland, but I have Michael Harding is this one happens to be Old Holland, but Michael Harding also very reliable. And I have a cadmium green. There's an enormous amount of that in the yellow skirt too. And these are new for me because on the limited palette you literally get four colours, five colours. Yellow ochre, that's on the limited palette. That was the canonical one. And
Let's
as
make a
was a
note
vermilion.
that for students, that's a yellow ochre light, right? That's what you're working with, the light.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Old Holland. And actually I have a Michael Harding too. Just says yellow ochre.
Okay, so either the light or straight yellow ochre.
119, number 119. That's for me, even though it's a bit nutty at the Old Holland, they're serving interchangeable purposes.
Okay.
They're both the same. Now I was given that Scarlet Lake, and actually I've really enjoyed it. So Vermilion or Scarlet Lake.
But Scarlet
Old
Lake
Holland.
is much more transparent than vermilion, or they're similar in their properties.
I find them similar,
Okay.
but again, I think this particular color doesn't do a lot on my palette. It does a bit, but it doesn't really. So it's not doing the heavy lifting like maybe it does for others. I think people should not defer to me on that one, but I have actually really enjoyed it, and it has served a similar purpose for me as Vermilion.
Who gave it to you? May I ask?
As Michael Harding. So
Oh, yeah,
I think it wasn't him directly. I think I got it at the Portrait
at the
Society.
Portrait Society, yeah.
There's kind souls who were handing out boxes. Glycerin from Old Holland. Just obviously be aware that it's not a glycerin. It's a glycerin lake. It's hard to read that now.
So Alizarin Crimson Lake.
Alizarin Crimson Lake, yes. Whichever the one is that's more colour fast. That one I love. That gets use. And I have a Michael Harding Cerulean, which I can't find right now. Ultramarine. That's an Old Holland one, but Michael Harding is good too. And then I do have an opinion about Ivory Black, which is better from Old Holland. It's got a sort of sandy granularity so that when you put it thin over a large area, it stays there. It's not slick, it doesn't move with the oil. It's got a flowery ability to stay opaque rather than slipping and sliding and wandering. So there's just more body to it, probably. That's just because this is
Oh,
just burnt deer bones, isn't it?
flour, you mean like flour, like food.
Yeah, like flour,
Okay.
like the
Right.
texture. So it's
Almost
got
more paste than oil.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one is the Michael Harding one is just a bit slicker, which is probably brilliant for loads of other people in what they need it for. But for me, I that's really important. And that concludes paint. You want
Is it
brushes?
yeah, let's do brushes.
I think these are Winsor& and Newton, but the labels have come off. I do have silver brush too. This is rosemary. The point being, they're just nice hog hair. They're filberts and squares. I have around here too, and this is actually a mongoose hair or a synthetic mongoose hair. It's obviously an old one because I can't see who makes it, but you'll find these everywhere. They're fairly similar, aren't they? To be honest. Probably hurting everyone's feelings by saying that, but you can get lots of very, very good brushes these days. Mostly filberts, some rounds, some squares. When I'm laying in, I use these bigger brushes pretty much all over the canvas. And then some of the finer stuff, the sort of synthetic sables and things.
What are the
Yeah.
sizes that you get down to? What size do you kind of?
Oh, I get down to a sort of 000 for highlights and very fine work, but I don't use them regularly.
I see, but that's the finest point, but on your way.
Yeah, I pretty much run the gambit. So all of the numbers on the chart, I'll have a handful of each of those.
Do you use an odorless thinner to clean things out, like a Gamsol or Terpenoid?
I have something called Green Spirit, which
Okay.
I think is it's a green version of
And
Turpin.
it's odorless as much as it can be.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, I don't miss the terp
No,
smell.
it's rough. Do you use a medium when you're working?
Yes, I do, and it's very similar to the medium that some of you may recognize from the sort of Florentine world, and it's linseed oil, terp. I use as a dash of Canada balsam and a dash of mastic, but not very much. So basically, it's linseed oil and terp with a kind of
A drop of each or something.
drop of each. Whereas the medium we had at school was more heavy on Canada balsam and mastic. It just gives the most enormous amount of body. And I've seen paintings where it's really struggling to stay on the cam. It can get very heavy and just gravity can take it off. So there's just a word of caution on that. So yeah, it's a nice thing to include because it gives real body to a lot of your slicker strokes. It's a great vehicle, but it has its place and sort of moderation is advised.
Can you, just since we're really in the weeds here, what's your ratio of linseed and terp when you're
It's
making?
about half and half.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got to the point now where I know it when it's right and then I adjust it. But yes, and of course in hot weather or whatever, you're going to have to add a load of turp all the time because it's just drying away, evaporating if you're outside. But basically it's half and half, and then I might add more turp if I'm laying in and I just want a very thin base layer and I don't particularly want paint to be building up and I want economy in an area, I'll add more turp. And then if you want that sort of unctuous painterly quality nearer to the end or wherever, then you might want the medium a bit. But I find that really is each to their own. Some people use exactly the same medium as me and their paintings look totally different.
Yeah.
So I think that's trial and error, really. Each painter has got their own ways and means.
Do you work on canvas?
Yes, and panels actually. I'm not again, I spread myself around a bit. I do work on a Klessens medium oil primed weave, which comes in a 10-meter bolt, and so I'm using that. And then I like Raymar panels, I like Artifacts panels. Quite annoying to get hold of here. There's a couple from Zecchi in Florence, which is my
Yeah.
traditional. They can send some nice
And they're
ones.
all oil primed, all of the things that you just mentioned.
Yes, yes, they are. I used to do my own priming when I was a pure soul, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not precious about that. It's just, yeah, ideally, I'd like something that puts up a bit of resistance. But if I'm doing something big, there is something about a canvas.
Okay.
The kind of, but it's not like I wouldn't be persuaded if somebody produced an amazing panel, canvas prime panel. Well, probably, but I changed my mind a lot. I start on big bars and then end up stretching them again and
Oh,
reducing.
really? You
Yeah.
stretch a painting mid-paint?
Sometimes see when it's dry enough to do it, but yeah, I change sizes quite a bit. So it depends. If I'm not sure about a composition, then I'll have much more canvas than I need on all sides and then trim it accordingly. So the yellow trainers had at least 6 inches at the bottom because I just didn't know what I wanted, and then I realized I was going to restretch it.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
so it's again, it's that kind of doing your process in real time business. But these, yeah, and I get masking tape. There are various ones
To
around.
check different compositions.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
varnish at the end?
I like retouch varnish.
I
It's
know.
just less controversial.
No, it's wonderful. Yeah, I know the feeling.
So yeah, no, I have a retouch, which is Robertson. Actually, Winsor and Newton do a decent one.
A spray or a paint?
It is. It's a liquid
A
for
liquid.
me.
Yeah.
I'm sure I should be doing the spray. That would probably work brilliantly. I don't. Yeah, no, but it's a liquid. Yeah.
And just a
Um,
personal question, or for me, what I'm interested, do you work with charcoal in the early stages to draw your subject first on the canvas?
Personally, I don't know. So I'm blasting in with paintbrushes.
Okay.
But obviously many people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, on massive compositions where you are totally unsure, like it's just a blank canvas and now you've got 6 people going in or something. Yeah, you're going to need to draw that out in even the roughest terms, but I'll do that with paint.
Okay.
And then
Mm.
just very thin, literally, that's where there's mostly, it's basically paint and turp
Yeah.
with a drop of medium. And you're just literally drawing, thinking, okay, put this person here. No, I won't. And you rub it off.
Yeah.
So I would do it all with paint personally, but yeah, many people do underdrawings, and we certainly covered that at length at school,
Yeah.
but I've dropped it over the years.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.